What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Judeo, and I'm back again with a new video. Today we're going to be checking out a special video. This one popped up on my YouTube. I believe it was a reaction from another YouTuber that I respect so much. I'm not going to call the name because I'm not giving out free promos. But anyways, you probably know the YouTuber. The title of this video is called Whoopi Goldberg Brought to Tears by Rand Paul after she asked a stupid question. I'm excited to see this one. I'm a big fan of Whoopi Goldberg, and I want to know the kind of question she asks. I'm very curious getting into this video. Without wasting your time, let's get to it. I see.
I'm a gun owner. You know, I don't mind that you know that I have a gun. You can come in my house and look for you. You can get all whatever you need. I don't understand why anyone objects to getting rid of automatic weapons. Automatic weapons, they're not for hunting. They do nothing. They're only there to kill. And you'll notice that a lot of the things that have happened with automatic weapons. When we see that, why don't we say, you know, who really needs to have one other than people who are at war?
But every gun can kill, though. Just saying.
Truly automatic weapons we don't have. You know, we banned truly automatic weapons, I think, in 1930.
But we still got a lot of them, right? Come on,
well, what we have is not automatic weapons, so we have semi-automatic. So they fire in a fairly fast sequence, but you can't pull the trigger and they come like a machine gun. Those are no longer out.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know what it is that there's a repetitive fire.
He's just being clear.
Them, and people do also shooting and sport shooting and target shooting and things with these guns. And come to Kentucky, and I'll introduce you to there are a lot of people who like and enjoy this as a sport. But the other problem is if we're going to take away ownership of specific types of guns, you really have to modify something that big as to either be legislation or even possibly a constitutional amendment. We can't allow one individual to do it. And I'll give you an example why. Let's say we had a terrible president that you didn't like from another party, and that president said, The View, you should hear the things they're saying on The View. We should limit their speech. We should register the journalists, and then we should have an approval board. And you know, that's silly. We would all be opposed to that. But that's the danger of letting a president make the rules. Even if you agree with what he's doing now, you should worry about having a president have so much power to create the law without Congress.
I'm sorry, man. There's no reason anybody needs to have an automatic weapon. I'm sorry.
She's going back to enforce on the automatic weapon point.
Get everybody out.
I'm going to jump in.
Honestly, there isn't, though. She's not wrong.
Because I want to get to this for sure. Kelly, you have written a book, and you talk about the ups and downs of the campaign trail and what gets you through those more difficult times, and those are your best friends. And so you've written True and Constant Friends, and I want you to tell us about those friends and what your book is all about.
Well, the book is about 6 women that I've been friends with from the very first week of my freshman year in college. And so we've known each other since we were 18 years old. And, you know, we've been through every stage of life together. We're now all 52 years old. And we've met every year.
She's 52? She's beautiful. Say, she aged very well.
For a reunion weekend since we graduated in 1985. We live all over the country. None of us even live in the same city. And so that connection, that sort of touchstone every year has been such a support system to me. We're all very different. We have different points of view. I mean, it's much like this. You just have this incredible sounding board. But down deep, we just have this amazing core respect and love for each other. And that's just been so powerful to me. And I want...
But what about the weapon, though? I wanted to see how it ended, the automatic weapon. Where did it end? They said she cried, but Whoopi Goldberg hasn't cried yet.
I wanted to write about that friendship, but I also wanted to write about who inspired us and who made us who we are. And so the book goes back as much as 100 years with each friend. I write about my grandmother, and then I have them tell me stories of the women in their lives who really made them who they are. And through the experience of writing that book, I learned so much more about these friends that I never would have known otherwise.
Well, we want to thank you guys. I know that.
One more thing about the mock turtleneck sweaters that you wear. You're apparently
We got those actually.
I was born it today. I was told I couldn't wear it.
What do you think, Mrs. Paul? What do you think about those? Just a yes or a no.
It's a good look, but we just want to say thank you for being great sports. You guys are a lovely couple.
We talked about his wanting to pull troops out of Syria, and everyone's saying, if we do that, we're abandoning the Kurds. That's not a good idea. And a lot of folks are saying he crossed the line with a bad decision, but you don't say that. Why?
You know, one of the things I've always supported about President Trump is actually one of the things I liked about President Obama. that we said we were overextended, that the Iraq War was a mistake. I think it's one of the reasons President Obama beat Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton had supported the Iraq War. I still think the Iraq War, regime change in the Middle East, and these wars are senseless. So does President Trump. He doesn't want to get us involved in another Iraq War in Syria. If anything, Syria is more complicated. The other is a practical concern. You have 50 soldiers. They're talking about moving 50 soldiers. Who goes to war with 50 soldiers? You have 50 soldiers and tens of thousands of Turkish troops amassing. The Turks are also allies. The Free Syrian Army were our allies for 7 years. They're allied with the Turks. The Kurds have been our allies. The Kurds, in all likelihood, are now going to be allies of Assad to try to carve out a place in Syria for themselves. It's a really complicated question. I guess from my perspective, I say, well, war's not a chess game. People lose their limbs and people die, and I think it's the least we owe to the kids that we're going to send into this war. Why are we going to war, and who are we fighting?
But isn't there,
So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So, if you have allies and they are working with you and
Why
fighting
you
with
withdrawing?
you, and 24 hours somebody wakes up and says, "Oh, we're out." Is that the right way to do this?
I think the way we look at war is we don't look at
No. Is that the right way to do it?
The question.
Okay.
When we decide whether or not we're sending our young people into harm's way, we should obey the Constitution, which says we should declare war and put them in a war theater. But let me finish.
Okay.
And here's the thing about it, is if you ask these people, Lindsey Graham and the Cheney war and all these warmongers that want to stay at war forever, who are we going to declare war on? They don't know who. We're going to declare war on Turkey, our ally,
Should we
the
ever
Free Syrian
walk
Army, our
out
ally.
in the middle? It's like walking
We
out.
should never be there in the first place.
That's not the question.
That
That's
was
all.
an interesting answer.
But see, the left
But-
agreed
but
with
we're
me for
in
so
there.
many years. For
We're-
so many years, the left agreed with me.
I am
But
neither
these
left
sin-
nor right. I'm just American. I want to
know.
know, should we
I don't even understand the left and right. Who's on the left? Who's on the right? Is it Republicans right? Democrats left? Who's
be taking
I don't understand.
Should we be walking out on people with
But here's the thing is, left and right have agreed in the past that regime change doesn't work. When we got rid of Hussein, we got chaos and more terrorism. When we got rid of Gaddafi, chaos and more terrorism.
But Senator,
They
we're
get more
here now,
angry.
though.
They do
But
more,
we're here.
more
We're not
damage.
really here. We got 50 people. We're not
here.
doing
Yeah, but
anything.
we're frankly,
50 people
hold on,
is
hold
very
on.
symbolic,
Hold on.
and that is why
Yeah,
it
and
kept
you tell their parents
Turkey
that.
from invading.
You tell their parents
Isn't that true?
You tell the parents of those 50 kids how great the symbolism was when a suicide bomber blows up all 50
But
kids.
didn't it
You
keep
tell them
Turkey
why-
from
No,
invading?
no, I'm not.
And pulling them
No.
gave
You tell
Turkey
their
the
parents.
green light.
You tell their
Isn't
parents
that
why
true?
they're there.
But
You
isn't
tell-
that true?
You tell their parents why
Isn't
they're
it
there.
true that Turkey
You
does
tell-
not
How do you feel about
we have
How do you feel about the video?
But if you look at this logically, the book makes sense though. The book makes sense because 50 children out there in harm's way, fighting a war that is not directly connected to them because they are helping out. How would you explain that to the parents? On the other hand, you've already gone, so you can't just leave, because you open ways for the enemy to attack the people you were trying to protect in the first place. So yeah, they're both making logical points.
That we're
Actually,
seeing of the
I
Kurds
find-
getting slaughtered.
I find the position of pulling out of these wars, that's a popular one, and I am there. There's a difference in having a strategy and leaving the Kurds there to die, which is where they
But
are
what would be the strategy though? If you're trying to leave, you're still gonna leave though, even with a strategy.
now. They are left there to die, and that is now, here's what I'd argue,
That's simply
now
wrong.
it's the
That's simply
GOP's
wrong.
problem.
That's simply wrong in an
ISIS fighters,
accusation.
as being reported, thousands are going to escape from these prisons because the Kurds can't protect
Well, no, that
themselves.
is
Up
that
to
is
70,000 according to a NATO official.
That's the people who don't like the
Is that a
policy.
safer world with
That's the
ISIS
people-
running around?
That's the people who want to stay forever. These are the same people.
I don't want to stay forever,
Let me
but isn't
finish
there a
answering the
strategy?
question, okay? I let you talk. You let me talk. These are the same people. These are the same people that would still have us in Vietnam. These are the same people who always say, "Stay at war, stay at war, stay at war." It has not helped us. We've been in Afghanistan for 19 years. The same people complaining about this. The Cheneys, Lindsey Graham, you know what they say about Afghanistan? It would be precipitous to leave. We've been there 19 years. There's no mission, and I'm not sending
That's
one
a
more
long time.
player.
There's more
I'm not
questions.
voting to
Senator, how
send
about
one
the
more
idea of
player to Afghanistan.
breaking our word as Americans, of breaking our words to our
I feel his pain right now. It's not easy arguing with one woman. Now you have to be in the center of 4 women. I feel your pain, bro.
allies, of having people who've risked their lives, who've been there for years, and what
And they're
message
making
does that
logical
send
points against
internationally
you,
to
too.
other allies if we abandon them?
I think the only duty we owe and the only oath I take is to the Constitution. I didn't promise to take the country to war. I promised not to take the country to war. So did President Trump, by the way.
And but the Constitution says protecting you from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
And there's many of us who feel that this puts us in greater danger because of what it means vis-a-vis ISIS. I mean, we're not alone on this planet.
And anybody who tries to make the argument that someone in Syria is a danger to our country is really not paying attention.
Oh, I think Assad is in Syria and is a hell of a danger to our country and our world.
Well, actually, if you look at the war is very complicated. So you had Assad on one side. On the other side, you had Sunni extremists, Al-Qaeda and al-Nusra. These are the people that have been allied with the Saudi version of Islam that has been promoting Islamism and Islamist strategy around the world and jihadism. That was the side of the war we were fighting. So if that side of the war actually won, I think we actually might be in more danger. I don't like Assad, but the other people on the other side are Sunni extremists that I don't like either.
How close is too close for Iran to be near Israel? Because this now creates a huge vacuum where Iran wants to take over Damascus, which is what they're now going to be capable of doing, and they're going to be that much closer to Israel, which is in fact one of our closest allies. Does that concern you at all?
I think the whole situation is so confusing that none of us are really getting this right. Actually, Turkey doesn't want Iran to take over everything. Israel doesn't want Iran to take over everything. And in fact, Israel actually stands up for themselves all the time.
They end up being in a bigger war.
Let me finish. Don't interrupt. So Iran gets up against...
What happened? He just went black? Oh my goodness. That was it? Oh no, this video is not complete. He just went black like that. No, you can't end the video right there. Anyways, that was a very intense one. The title was very clickbaity, if there's a word like that. How do you say Whoopi Goldberg brought to tears by Rand Paul? She wasn't brought to tears. As a matter of fact, the women actually were like were choking him. But this is an argument that I don't believe somebody's going to actually win. It's kind of it's an argument where you have to come to an agreement, where both parties have to come together and accept something from each other, because they're both making very logical points. But where do I stand on this one? I believe if you're a president of a country, your first responsibility or your first duty are your substituents. Is that how it's called? Like your people, the people you rule. So if you're asking me if it was the right move to withdraw your people from another country, I would say it depends if you see that is best for your country. If you see that that's best for your country, because we all blame this on one person. What if it was the other way around? The table flipped and Iran was in America's position. The Iranian president was in the America's president's position. What would they have done? You know, I like to see things from that angle. I might be wrong. I'm not a politician. I'm not an expert in any of these things. So feel free to correct me. Let me know your points too. You know, feel free to educate me if I'm sounding dumb right now. Anyways, I had a good time watching that video. Feel free to share your thoughts. If you want to see more, send me the links, send me the titles, and I promise you I'm going to bring them to the channel. And smash that like button, subscribe. Let's get the channel to 1 million subscribers. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a very wonderful day. Peace.